thanks for coming out, everybody. Great to see so many familiar faces. All of you should know me, but for the recording purposes, I'm Brian Vaughn. I'm the chair of the Downtown Lincoln Association Board of Directors, and excited to have you all here to talk about the potential expansion of the business improvement district and what our vision and plans are. So with that, I will hand it over to Todd to take over back. Yeah, excited to have you all here and answer your questions. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Brian. Like Brian said, thanks for everybody for coming. I'm Todd Ogden. I'm the president of the Downtown Lincoln Association, and we are recording this again, so we will have a lot of property owners that weren't able to make it that have requested that they get the recording so they can kind of hear the presentation to go along with the documents that we have sent all the property owners in the district, and that'll be the goal, to continue to try to reach out to every single property owner in the examination area that we'll be talking about here. So really quickly, just wanted to go over the history of how we got here and what we've done to get us where we're at today. And for downtown Lincoln specifically, in the 40s and the 50s and 60s, was the epicenter of the city, and you had the department stores and everything. It was run by the O Street gang, and that group of property owners and business owners came together at that point because around the 70s and 80s, we lost about 1 million square feet of downtown retail. There was an exodus into the suburbs. So a group of owners and property owners got together and said, hey, we need to provide and come up with a common voice for downtown to bring these ideas together so we can grow and continue to grow and not, have more people completely forget about downtown as they move out to the suburbs. So that's really the impetus of the Downtown Lincoln Association being created. So in 1967, our organization officially was created. And throughout over the next couple of decades, business improvement districts came in line. So a lot more planning came on to formalize the partnership of DLA and these business improvement districts. So in 1978, Downtown Lincoln Association created its first business improvement district, which was a maintenance BID. And we'll kind of get into a little bit more logistics. For this open house, we won't get into too much detail here, but we want to kind of give you a broad perspective of what we were talking about when we were continuing to grow these business improvement districts. So in 1978, we had the maintenance districts, and in the 80s, management business improvement districts for advocacy, marketing, communications with the city were created. So that became a time in the 90s and 2000s where there was a lot of planning. We had our 2005 master plan, and a lot of things were in the works. And really around 2010, when the arena bond issue came on, downtown continued to develop, where we had about $1.8 billion of investment. So downtown continued to grow. And at that point, what leads us today is our current business improvement district map. So as you can see, our eastern edge currently is at 17th Street. And we're operated by these maintenance bids, which are in the green, and the management bids, which are in the orange. And they're based on special assessments, which again, we'll get into a little bit more of the details later on. But as you can see, that eastern boundary sits on 17th Street. And as we look forward, we want to talk about what potential services could come out to the eastern boundary of Greater Downtown. As we put together this project in these business improvement districts, our budget goes to City Council every year. And we allocate our budget through major areas. So our management side is mainly split up through communications and advocacy, economic development and marketing, and programming and promotion. So those are huge services that DLA looks to provide to the area. So marketing, to have direct services for every business within our business improvement district. So we're not a typical membership organization where you pay member dues. The property owners are specially assessed, and every tenant and property owner in the district is considered a member. So our goal is to promote and advocate for every business as much as we possibly can in this district. So communications and advocacy is vitally important for us, especially as we work with the city to implement our program and work. Economic development, certainly working again with the city and the redevelopment agreements, master planning, and continuing to have downtown grow is a huge priority for us, along with program and promotion. That's a huge, vital instrument for us to activate the downtown area. So there's growth and perceived growth. If you see activity outside, that's a huge win for us, because we want people to see a dynamic downtown that we know exists here, and we want to continue to grow that activity throughout the area. So you see on that right side, another huge chunk of our organization is the maintenance. And I've said before, our management side, we have the boring stuff. Brian Monk, who's going to come up here, our maintenance director, he has all the fun outside green stuff. And I want him to come up here, and Brian's going to talk about exactly what our maintenance crew does and just kind of give you a high level picture of some of the services through maintenance. And as we talk after this, and we'll continue to talk over the next month or two, if you're interested about really the major details of maintenance. But right now, Brian, why don't you come up here and talk about some of the maintenance services that we provide.
All right. Generally, we take care of everything in the right of way. So, trash, trees, plantings, planting beds, irrigation systems. We put out the annual planting goals and take care of all those. We do spring, fall for some, and winter arrangements for all of that. We do not repair sidewalks. We do touch things up a little bit here and there. When spring rolls around and we're pruning trees to get that done, then we start getting beds prepped for mulching and weeding, fertilizing that way. We take care of all the turf in those areas. Irrigating, fertilizing, mowing, water where there is water. We take care of the sidewalks, we clean those with our sweepers. And we get the dirt, debris, trash like that up off the sidewalks. Our trash crews take care of the trash and planting beds. We empty over 425 trash cans on a daily basis. We take care of all the benches, ashtrays, trash cans. In the winter time, we bring those in, rebuild them if they need it, grind them down and repaint them, get them set back out. So some of the rusting, we'll take care of that. Generally, pretty much everything in the right of way. Trash and plants, there's 1,500 trees. We take care of 1,300 beds. A little over 200 annual plantings that we do, plantables that we do. Always room for more too, with the heavy baskets, long pieces of the thing we do every day. That's in a nutshell, pretty much everything we take care of.
Thank you, Brian. Again, there's going to be a lot more details with the maintenance. We're going to have, as you see it, I'll go over a timeline toward the end of this, but there's going to be a lot of opportunity to really get into the details of what the maintenance can do for a business improvement district. So just kind of a higher level look at what we're looking at. And certainly with the maintenance, a lot of this comes from our partnership with the city, and these bids wouldn't exist without the city. We technically contract with the city to operate the business improvement district. And Hallie Salem with Urban Development Department with the city, we'll kind of talk about our partnership a little bit and how the city's involved with the business improvement districts. Thanks, Hallie.
Thanks, Todd, for the introductions. Like Todd mentioned, we have a partnership with Downtown Lincoln Association because we find a lot of value in what Downtown Lincoln Association does. We have, we find that it's much better to maintain the assets and amenities we have rather than replace them. So it's much more cost effective. And because of that, we contribute 25% of the revenue of DLA's budget every year. And it's essentially a match to the maintenance assessment to the property. So we also have other ways of assisting with funding, from the projects that we do to the, we might do a repair project related to an endowment fund that we have. So we have several endowments in the downtown area, like the Centennial Mall, P Street, West Haymarket are just some examples. We also have a line item for a couple of different types of regular improvement projects, such as street tree replacement, downtown irrigation. So we try and assist with what we can to make sure we are maintaining the assets we have in downtown and keeping it vital and safe and strong. One other thing I just wanted to mention was that this doesn't include any of the other city investment that the city does in, for example, street resurfacing or sidewalk repair or other improvements that Lincoln Transportation and Utilities might do. So this is an above and beyond those general improvement projects. So we work, again, in partnership with Downtown Lincoln Association in the 2018 Downtown Master Plan planning process. In that planning process, we identified 5 catalyst projects, as well as the 6th project was to finish up some previous projects from the 2005 Downtown Master Plan. And we continue to work to achieve, to accomplish those catalyst projects. For example, the Pershing project, the Music District. We also have the West Haymarket Park, and then both the 11th Street Streetscape project and M Street Greenway. The final project that I'll mention here too is the Downtown Entryway project. Some refer to as the O Street project. Its legal name is the Greater Downtown Principal Corridors project, but I'm sure we'll have a much better name here shortly when it's all said and done. But we are working together to plan out for this project. We'll be holding public meetings, and in the end, we'll have an O Street streetscape 20 years down the line that runs from 9th to 28th Street and is vastly improved over what is there today. And we'll be doing these in phases. So the first phase will occur in the next few years, and hopefully that will also include other elements like 11th Street and the Music District. So keep tuned for opportunities to participate in that project.
So coming out of that downtown master plan, one of the things that we did was try to align Downtown Lincoln Association's strategic plan to support that. And one of the big pieces that we've talked about as part of that strategic plan was guiding downtown's long-term evolution as a community hub as an objective. And as part of that, we wanted to really look at creative ways that we could explore expanding Downtown Lincoln Association boundaries. As part of that, about a year ago in earnest, we put together a expansion committee, including the folks you can see on these slides here, and began looking at the periphery of the current DLA boundaries, looking to the south, looking to the east, and really, as part of the work that this group was doing, identified a really exciting opportunity as development has continued to grow quite a bit to the east of downtown. And so one of the things that's been exciting about that is all the work that Edo's been doing between the Speedway and the Nelnet partnership. And that's really driven a lot of excitement and interest in potentially expanding to the east. So with that, I want to bring up Lauren and Mike to talk more about the development that's going on here and their interest in that expansion.
My name is Mike Lang, and I work for Speedway Properties. And we very much have a vested interest in supporting this study and possible expansion of the business improvement district. At Speedway, we've had a long-term relationship with the DLA. We've got several buildings, not only in the core downtown business improvement district, but several buildings in the overall broader district as well. It's over this period of time that we've built a solid foundation and the relationship that we have with the DLA. We're very familiar with the work and the quality of the services they provide, and we totally support the efforts. And it's very important to keep a vibrant downtown. As a property owner, we often, as we're redeveloping projects, make significant investments in landscape and streetscape features. And I think it's in everybody's interest to maintain that investment over the long term. One of the community objectives is to keep a vibrant downtown. And I think we can all appreciate, as the downtown area has the highest geographic employment density in the city, that we want to create, an active and very nice aesthetically pleasing space, not only for the employees that work in the downtown area, but also the greater Lincoln residents and visitors to the community. And I've often heard people that visit Lincoln call it a great small town with a good walking downtown area. Enjoy it. In my previous roles as an economic development practitioner, I've never a lot of clients that would stay in the downtown area, and they always have positive comments to say. And here we're getting into quality of life and economic development, because to a large extent, maintaining a vibrant downtown and being able to show people that boots on the ground makes it easier for us as a property owner to attract tenants and retain tenants in our buildings. So that's a big factor. So we are very supportive of the DLA, the quality of the work, the services they provide. And like Hallie mentioned, it can be done a lot more efficiently than if we try to do it ourselves. So speaking from experience with the numerous buildings that we own and trying to maintain the quality of our investment buildings and supporting the city objectives, it's really a win-win situation, we believe. And, to that end, we're very excited about the proposition of expanding the BIP in some form, particularly to the east and maybe other locations too. And the Telegraph District is a great example of, just how the community is changing. And over time, the revitalization of the downtown area that's occurring. And, the reality is downtown, we feel, is expanding, not only to the east, which is a natural eastern bookend with the Antelope Valley, but also to the south. So the area is going to be even changing more over time. And so we need to adapt to the change. We need to strengthen the downtown area and continue that initiative to hope possibly, I'm here talking about future generations can enjoy it as we are today. And Telegraph District, certainly we've got a solid real estate partnership with Nelnet. And Nelnet is involved in the redevelopment projects, particularly in the Telegraph District area, but some other locations too. So I think they've got some experience with the DLA as well. I don't want to speak to that and share with you her perspectives on working with the DLA.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike. And thanks for letting us be here today. As Mike mentioned, I think our partnership is very excited about the prospect of expanding the bid to include the Telegraph District as well as other areas into the bid and really create that eastern edge of downtown and have a cohesive feel with the core and the other parts that are currently within the established bid. We've worked with DLA a lot over the years through various developments, and as Mike mentioned, I'll really just echo that. We found that through the partnership with the city and DLA that we are able to kind of effectuate our maintenance and repairs in a lot more cost-effective way than if we were doing this on our own. Additionally, I think Brian is super humble. There isn't a better person in town to really take ownership of the downtown area. He and his team do a phenomenal job. They're boots on the ground. They're there first thing in the morning when it snows. And they take a lot of pride and ownership in the process. And that's something that as property owners, we just often aren't able to do because we're trying to run our other businesses, right? So it lets you do what you do, and that's focus on your business. And it really lets the experts take care of your property, which is great to have that alignment. In addition to the maintenance side of the picture, there's also the management. And I think that's really key because it provides an advocate for your business and it helps you market and advertise. It also enables you to be a part of events that are happening. When you look at the core downtown area right now, and you have things like Shop the Blocks and other special events and promotions, just think if we were able to carry that east and bring it to this part of downtown as well. I think that is a really cool idea and a really cool prospect and help our businesses in the area truly flourish and grow. So we're really at Nelnet very supportive of this expansion and are here to answer any questions that other property owners have about our various experiences over the years. So, Todd?
Thank you, Mike and Lauren. So we've had this master plan, we have a strategic plan, a committee was created, and now we're at the point where we're kicking off kind of the official process where you see in that red, that is our examination area. So we know we have interest in kind of a certain core from property owners that we're hearing. So we wanted to give every property owner an opportunity over these next couple months to let us know their interest and learn more about our services directly. So that's our goal right now, is to take a look at this boundary, try to reach out to every property owner as much as we possibly can. This is our second open house that we've had, and I'll go over the timeline here in a second, but we really want to push that our goal is to be as transparent through this process as possible, communicate everything we possibly can with all of you. So this can be a process by the time we take this to council where we're pretty clear on what those boundaries look like. So with that, in that examination area, we want to talk about the services we can specifically provide to you as a property owner or you as a business. And certainly in the document that we've mailed out to the property owners, and make sure you don't leave without grabbing one of those packets. There's two major values that I feel are with being a part of the business improvement district. There's kind of the tangible and the intangible, big picture, small picture. So certainly from an investment standpoint, it's clear that business improvement district areas are a wonderful way to secure your investment. Investment value in business improvement districts massively grow compared to ones that aren't. So they're a great way to secure that investment that you have in the area. Our goal from our organization is to make sure our area works as a whole and all of our properties can be maintained in a way where they have value and will continue to have value moving forward into the future. So certainly from that investment value, over the last 10 years, our property value and investment value has increased by 140%. And with that, our business assessments have gone down by 40%. So we have a special assessment rate that is based on, from a maintenance standpoint, the property owners in our business improvement district pay about $4.25 per front foot of your property. And essentially for the downtown BID, it's 75 cents per $1,000 of assessment. We do have worksheets, so you can see our estimates right now based on 2022 values, what this potential assessment would look like for every single property in the examination area. So you'll be able to see that as you leave as well. We will, again, like I said, we want to be transparent, so we've put in the work to make sure we estimate what this looks like exactly moving forward. So certainly there's that bigger picture stuff, and we're working on advocating, providing that common voice. Certainly if we do have the opportunity to move out into the eastern edge of downtown, certainly have a board advocate or two to talk about what their needs are in that area to make sure that our board of directors continues to have that common voice. We're very proud that our organization is representative of downtown as a whole, and will continue to do that moving into the future. Certainly a lot more tangible stuff. You know, there's a lot of different types of businesses, but if you have a service, retail, anything like that, we have a website that gets thousands of visitors monthly. Our visitor guide that promotes our dining, shopping, arts, entertainment services, kiosks, downtown gift card program. So anybody that accepts credit card can accept our gift card. And that brings in about $50,000 of direct money going into our businesses every year. So there are direct benefits where you can see move into your business. Social media boosts on Facebook and promoting stories. We do a downtown monthly newsletter. So there's that direct value. And certainly on the maintenance side, there's an obvious direct value where if you have landscape services that you don't currently take care of and maintain, like Lauren said, you know, there's no better person than Brian to maintain a crew that really does a great job of making sure that our area downtown and our outside stays clean, green, and safe. So there's that direct value as well. And just overall as a whole, knowing we have a clean downtown. We hear it all the time from people coming in from other downtowns, how clean this downtown is. So we pride ourselves on that. And we want to make sure if the city invests and the private properties invest in a neighborhood, that investment is secured, not only from an economic standpoint, from a beautification standpoint as well. We want the area to look good. So there's a lot of services that I can talk about. We've gone over a lot of information. So again, over the next couple of months, we'll continue to reach out to all of you to talk about direct services, because really it just depends on what type of property you have, what type of business. And, you know, at one point or another, we had one of our former board members tell us they see value in the bid because you may not need it now, but at one point, the business improvement district and DLA has come in handy for them. So there's always going to be a need. You just don't know when. And our goal is to make sure we continue to maximize that value and provide those services in an efficient manner. Again, we're very proud of how efficient we are with the organization, where our rates have gone down. by 40% over the last 10 years, and that's based on efficiency and moving forward. So it really works out well because we are spread out through the district. So we're really excited about the potential here, and just want to keep you up to date, lastly, on what that timeline looks like. So again, we want this process to be as open and transparent as possible. This is the second of our open houses for this go around in March. So after this open house, we want to continue to reach out to those property owners who weren't able to attend. We are recording this right now, so we'll be able to send this presentation out to the property owners. We've already mailed out the invitation in this renewal report, which talks about this process. It has the information of some of the value, our history, and certainly the boundary examination area, the timeline on the bottom. So through March, after this open house, one-on-ones, emailing, trying to get, reach out to property owners who haven't seen, and then hopefully we'll be able to get as many emails as possible to hand out a stakeholder survey. We will ask the property owners, point blank, are you interested in being the bid? I need more information, and ask questions that way, because that's our goal, is to really get a feel for what interest we have, so our committee can go back into around May and late May to take a look at all the feedback we've received over the last 2 months and put together a finalized map of interest. So like I said, we know we have interest kind of at the center of the east part of downtown, but we want to give everybody the opportunity to grow where we can. Ultimately, the property owners decide to assess themselves for this. And that's something we take very seriously. We don't want to be an area that forces people in an area that don't want to be a part of it. So we want to be open to all the property owners moving forward to make sure this is an area you want to be in. So certainly if you have neighbors that aren't able to be here today or haven't heard about this or have their contact, make sure to reach out to them to contact us so they can learn more about it as well. So by putting together that finalized map in May, we'll have another open house with property owners in that finalized boundary. And that's where we can really talk about what are my direct services, what am I going to get out of this, what's the timeline, when does this go to council, all those questions. So we'll have another open house. So again, I'm trying to be as broad as possible. I know this is complicated. I know there's a lot of information, but it's really exciting on the benefits that it can provide for the area. So from that finalized map and that final open house, after that, hopefully we don't have any surprises by the time we get to city council. I keep promising city council that, hey, we'll know who the property owners are and they have heard by it. So you won't have anybody, we're not going to put people on the map where they haven't heard about it. So that's our number one goal, is continue to reach out to make sure every property owner has heard about this process and has had their say on what their needs are, because we will have to put together a final budget for this as well to amend our budget in that area. So that will be then introduced by a resolution intent at city council, where in this timeline, we're talking about around June to do that. The city council then will have to send out a mailer to every property owner in that proposed boundary and give them about 30 to 45 days to protest the bid, to say, hey, actually, I don't want to be a part of this. And if more than 50% of the value protest, the deal's already done, so we would not expand. But if that goes through, city council then will have to vote to accept the BID after that 45-day window, and they have public hearings in July. So the property owners will have another time throughout that window and also at the public hearing to talk about this business expansion. If successful, and if we do expand in this area, throughout the rest of the summer, we would work with city council to update our city contract, because we do contract with the city to operate these BIDs. So certainly we would need to amend that with the boundaries. We would need to amend our bylaws to see what our board of directors makeup looks like with the new boundaries, as we did when we expanded out to the west. And then put together our final budget, amend the budget. And September 1 would be the plan for our new fiscal year, which starts in September, to start the new and operate in the new expanded BID. As a property owner, since we contract with the city every year, so we will operate that full year for the business improvement district, and then the special assessment wouldn't be billed by the city until roughly November of 2023. So the way we're set up is we provide our services, and every property owner every year has a chance to go to a board of equalization to the city, say, we feel like we didn't get our value, our services that we're providing with this. So there is a lot of oversight for us to make sure we do our job. And again, we take pride that we've done that, and we've never had anybody equalize us and say, hey, we did not get the services we were supposed to provide. But it's a great thing to have to keep our organization checked to make sure we're doing the job we're supposed to do. And we appreciate that, and take that challenge and want to continue to work and do as much as we can to equalize and move forward. So certainly every year our budget will go to council and all of our property owners will have a say in that moving forward. So that's where we're at with the process. I just appreciate everybody coming out here, everybody who's able to watch this on the video. I think the big thing is right now, let's just reach out to our peers, and if we can't get a hold of property owners, again, there's only a couple properties in this examination area that also have properties in the current BID. So as much as we can, we're trying to reach out to people that we haven't had contact with to get their emails so we can send them these documents so they can be more informed on what potential they may have. Because you know, there's two things. We don't want to put somebody in there that hasn't heard about it, that doesn't want to be, or vice versa. We don't want somebody to lose the opportunity to be a part of this expansion area that hasn't heard about it. So that's going to be our goal moving forward, and just appreciate you all coming. And right now we have enough people here where I think we can just kind of go into Q&A separately, and feel free to reach out to anybody that's presented here, ask more questions, and go from there. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.